Okay, listen, I know I said just a few months ago that I wasn't going to be making any more videos solely on the Hypixel staff team. And I really meant it back then, and hopefully won't be making any more after this. I originally didn't even want to post this video because of what I said before, and also because the situation had been dealt with. It was done and settled, so I thought I could just let it rest. But something has happened that is very serious, way beyond the scope of some block game. And with the way things have progressed in the aftermath, I feel like I have to speak out about it. And to stay silent would be a huge disservice to someone who trusted me with something very personal, and also to anyone else who has dealt with something similar to this. We're going to be discussing some potentially disturbing topics, so if that's not your thing, or it might be upsetting to you, then I appreciate you stopping by, but it might be best if you pass on this one. Those of you who have been around my channel for a while know I've posted some videos detailing the sexual harassment from the former Hypixel staff manager Kevin Kuhl of not just myself, but many others as well, some of whom were underage. As I hope I've made very clear from those videos, I have absolutely no tolerance for predators, particularly ones who take advantage of those younger and more vulnerable. And sadly, that wasn't the last time someone on the Hypixel staff would use their position to exploit and be inappropriate with someone underage. One of those instances was reported recently by a girl who I absolutely will not name under any circumstances to protect her privacy, because she was exploited by the moderator Shrekster. This is not a question or an unproven allegation. It is a fact. I know this because I was involved with contacting the admins about this matter and getting him demoted from the staff team. Now, I will admit, when the girl and her friend initially messaged me with her story telling me the basics about what happened, I was very unsure what to think at first and what course of action to take, especially since I was consistently asked to make a video on this topic because she was understandably afraid to come forward herself. And for a while, I was very adamant against making a video because I didn't want to get publicly involved in any more staff drama, but I offered to help in any way I could. Then I was given more details, like how at the time, Shrekster was 19 years old and the girl was only 14. And they also showed me evidence of what happened that left me without any doubt that she was telling me the truth. This began a couple years back in 2018, and I want to reiterate that this girl was 14 years old and Shrekster was 19. A legal adult with no business being sexually involved with someone this young and participating in these types of conversations that were exchanged. Now, of course, Discord conversations can be easy to fake without the Discord ID, so the screenshots by themselves wouldn't mean much. And it also complicated matters that Shrekster got wind of the girl trying to come forward, so he had gone back and erased all of his messages trying to cover his tracks. But he could only erase one half of the conversation. So the girl, after changing her Discord name to hide her identity, recorded a video of the chat that still shows her half with the responses and the dates matching up with the screenshots, along with proof that she was in fact talking with the real Shrekster. However, there was another wrench thrown into the accusations because allegedly he had lied about his age, claiming to be not 19 years old at the time, but 17 years old. So the girl and her friend went sifting through the internet using what little information they had and eventually found a Facebook account with his personal information I'll be blocking out. Despite how grotesque of a person I think he is, it's not my intention to dox him. This account is clearly his, with his Minecraft skin as the banner, and on his profile his birthday is listed as February 27th, which he has posted about on his Twitter, but the year was 1999. Meaning he is currently 21 years old and 19 years old when he was conversing with this girl. The girl had contacted Hypixel support after deciding to come forward, but of course, with the server being super busy these days, they are fairly backed up and it takes weeks to get a reply, and she was worried her report would get lost in the mix or forgotten about. So knowing what I had been through with Kevin and needing someone to confide in, she and her friend reached out to me. I then passed along all of the evidence to Simon, the owner of Hypixel, and Shrekster was demoted shortly afterwards. And I want to mention, I have nothing bad at all to say about the admins, honestly. They took action against someone on the staff team who was doing something terrible they had no idea about, and I want to commend them for it. They handled this situation fabulously, and I don't want this video or anything said here to be a negative reflection on them or the rest of the staff team. This was just one person hiding something he was doing that was really, really bad. And I figured that was that. Consequences were dished out, and there was no need to worry about it further. But unfortunately, it has come to my attention that after being demoted and even possibly banned from the network, since as of recording this, he hasn't logged on to the server or forum since, Shrekster has supposedly been relentlessly trying to save face by denying the accusations, denying he was even demoted from staff, which is an outright lie. Simon confirmed he was demoted, and apparently Shrekster didn't even deny the accusations to the admins, but instead tried to claim he didn't know how old the girl was. Which, excuse my crassness, but bullshit. An adult lying about his age to specifically come off as a teenager and getting sexually involved with a player on a server where the majority of the player base is underage? I mean, come on. At best, he's an accidental pedophile and one of the stupidest people walking the planet, which I don't even believe for a second. And at worst, it was on purpose. So he's told a lie somewhere in here, either to his friends or to the admins, so which is it? And if that wasn't bad enough, I've been told he has also been spreading the girl's name so his friends and supporters can harass her. Honestly, how despicable can you get? Over the past several days, I've been seeing a bunch of people trying to defend Shrekster on his behalf, saying he's such a nice guy and he was so helpful on the network, so there's no way he could have done such awful things. Listen, I dealt with this already when people were saying the same thing about Kevin. Just because you think you know a person or they might seem nice to the public doesn't mean they aren't capable of doing something terrible in private. Shrekster manipulated a 14-year-old girl for his own sexual gratification and is now trying to get others to torment her for him. No surprise she was afraid to come forward for 2 years. This is just so disgusting. There is no other way to describe his behavior. Part of what prompted my decision to make this video to speak up on this girl's behalf was seeing many stories over the past couple weeks of sexual harassment and abuse within the gaming community, with things coming to light about some rather well-known people who may have even gotten away with whatever they did if someone hadn't been brave enough to step forward. It is so important to hold vile individuals like this accountable for their actions, because whether it happens in real life or over the internet, this sort of thing is never okay. I could not possibly care any less that Shrekster was a Hypixel mod. He could have been a mod, an admin, a normal player, one of my friends. It doesn't matter. He is a predator, and people need to stop supporting and defending him without even bothering to find out if anything being said about him is true. I know, it absolutely sucks to learn that someone you might be friends with or someone you look up to is an atrocious person, but sadly, it just happens sometimes. We don't always know someone as well as we think, especially online, where it's disturbingly easy for someone to hide their true nature from behind a computer monitor. I'm sure Shrekster will stumble across this video eventually, and I honestly hope he's ashamed of himself for what he's done. There's plenty of other things I'd like to say, but it would probably get this video taken down, so I'd like to avoid that, and he's just not worth wasting any more time on. As for the girl who came forward, we've already spoken, but I am so glad that she had the courage to reach out and trust anyone with her story, not even specifically me, just anyone at all, because I know talking about something like this and admitting you've been a victim of something awful can be very difficult to do. And I hope after this, she is able to find some kind of closure and that things get better for her. I don't know if there were others who were in a similar situation to this girl. This is the only instance I knew about. But if you are someone who was exploited by Shrekster, or anyone else for that matter, and if you need someone to talk to, you can absolutely reach out to me. My messages on Twitter are always open. And if you are one of those mindless, ignorant little imbeciles coming here trying to defend Shrekster or harass that poor girl, that makes you just as bad as him, and any comments of that nature posted will be removed and you will be blocked immediately, so do not even try it. Please, everyone be careful with who you choose to associate with. Stay safe and be good people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!